In the days after the fire, Rujeko carried herself like a woman who had buried her past. But in the village ruled by spirits, secret and silence, nothing stayed buried for long. At least pretended to. Some whispered that Munyaradzi had fallen into the gorge after his shame was revealed. Others said ancestors had claimed him for his deficit. Whatever the truth, no one thing was clear. His name was never spoken openly again. But Rujeko could not rest. Each night she woke from dreams filled with whispers and water. In them, Munyaradzi stood at the riverbank, eyes hollow, skin cold, speaking not with love but accusation. You burned what I gave you, he said, but fire does not cleanse the heart. She would wake soaked in sweat, her sleeping mat damp, the clay ground beside her tipped over always. Then the smoke. One morning it rose from the forest like a warning. The shrine of Mbuyane, the village spirit medium, had burned during the night. When people arrived, they found her unhurt, but the scared space was blackened and the ancestral items scorched. Mbuyane stood before the ashes, silent, her face heavy with knowing. Then in front of everyone she turned to Rujeko. He has returned, she said, not as a man you once loved, but as a curse. The bond was never broken, it only sleeps, and now it has awakened. Rujeko breathed through into her chest. She had done everything, burned the beads, shunned his memory, restored her dignity, but the spirit world was not satisfied. She returned home and knelt before her father, Vachibwe, to ask for permission to go after the truth. At first he was furious. To him, he was shame revisited. But after long silence, he placed an ancestral charm in her hands, a small bone carved with symbols of protection, and said, "If you go, you walk in the shadow of disgrace, but if you return with truth, even the spirit may forgive." And so she went, not alone, but with Tendai. By her side, the man who had always seen her pain without asking for anything in return. The journey dipped in the forest, following paths long abandoned where hunters once walked and whispered of ancestors still clenched in the air. The wind grew colder, the trees more silenter, and near the edge of the gorge they found something impossible. Fresh footprints leading towards the waterfall. Behind its rusting curtain, behind from the world, was a cave, and inside it, alive and warm by a fire, sat Munyaradzi. He looked different, leaner, harder, but not remorseful. When he saw Rujeko, he smiled. "You came," he said. She stared at him, the weight of months crashing over her. Her voice was calm, but sharp as a blade. "They said you died. You let them believe it." "They would have killed me," he replied. "But what I say to you, that was real. I loved you." "You didn't love me," she said. "You loved what could take. You loved being believed." He stepped forward slowly. "But you came all this way. Doesn't that mean anything?" She raised the ancestral charm between them. The moment it caught the firelight, Munyaradzi flinched and stepped back. "This is not about love," she said. "This is about justice, about the ancestors you shamed, the name you cursed, the spirit you offended." The cave fell silent. At rise they sealed the entrance with heavy stone. There was no trial, no blood, just a final silence. Munyaradi would remain in shadows, alive but alone. Rujeko to the village with her head held high, not as a woman mourning a lost love, but as one who had stirred betrayal in her face and walked away untouched. At the village gate, Ambuya Nehanda waited. She poured river water over Rujeko's hands, muttering words no one else understood. The bond is broken now, she said, but some wounds leave marks even after the healing. Rujeko nodded. She understood now. Some love stories are not meant to last. Some lies are meant to be buried. But the truth walks with you forever. Rujeko loved, she trusted, she lost, but in the end she reclaimed not just her name but her power, and that more than love is what ancestors remembered.